Welcome to the 5th episode of the Polecast show. This is your podcast where we talk about everything pole art, pole dancing, pole fitness, pole sports, everything pole related. So I'm your host, Chloe, and we've got a very special guest today. This is Kim. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So Kim is the co-owner and director of Body Space Studios in Sydney. She's also a pole dancing instructor, beautiful pole dancing instructor, and she's got multiple awards. Awards include 2020 Australian Pole Championship Technique winner, sponsorships Choice winner 2020, New South Wales Pole Championships finalist, 2019 Miss Pole Dance Australia, winner of the 2019 Pole Theatre Sydney Drama category, and the finalist of 2019 Pole Theatre World. Please welcome Kim. Oh gosh, you're amazing. My God, all these awards and everything. So how is everything for you? So I think the last time we saw each other would have been maybe last year, like March,
I think so. Yeah.
April-ish.
Yeah.
So you've been like very, very busy, obviously, ever since with your studio. By the way, congratulations on your new studio.
Thank you.
I think it's just opened like a few weeks ago, I think.
This is our second Monday that we're open. So I opened last week was the official launch.
Oh my God, so
Yeah.
it's so recent then.
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
everything been?
Oh, it's been like literally counting our blessings because it's just been amazing, and we're so thankful and so grateful to everyone who's joined us, everyone who's followed the journey, and it's a huge part of Sylvia and I's lives. Sylvia is my business partner and my very good friend. And yeah, it's been amazing. It's been a long journey and something that's been in the making for a while. I quit my job last year to do this, and so it's been really great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you said that you quit your job last year. When was that?
So I quit my job. I quit my corporate job in December last year. So
Right.
December 2019, because we're in 2021 now. So pretty much 12 months ago. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And did you quit your corporate career to start the studio?
yeah, essentially. We knew it wasn't like nothing was set in stone. We hadn't got, actually Sylvia and I hadn't even gotten together at that point. We just I just quit my job because I knew that I wanted to do dance full time, and I knew that there was something that I wanted to do potentially with the studio, but I wasn't quite sure yet. And then we got together early 2020, and we started talking about it, and it's been something that's been with us for a long time, and we decided to just literally start with a name and start the company, and eventually we went on to signing lease, and that was it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what does Body Space Studios mean?
So Sylvia is a bar instructor. She's also a pole instructor, but she's a bar teacher first and foremost at the moment. And my love is pole. And so we wanted to find something that related for us. Like for me personally, pole is not just the physical aspects of being on the pole. You need to combine flexibility, you need to combine dance, you need to combine strength, all of those things together to make you the best dancer, I guess, that you can be. And so we wanted to build a studio that has all of those elements and that they come together to kind of complete you as a dancer, and in terms of being injury free and just happy in your body, I guess, and confident in your strength and being able to progress as you go confidently. So that's why Body Space kind of came together, because it's a pole studio, but we wanted to kind of bring in all those other disciplines that complete pole and make it like a big package. And so it's a space for your body essentially. So whatever you're into, there's something for you, which is what we wanted to make.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So with your corporate career, just going back to the initial question, what were you doing?
So I was working in marketing. So
okay.
Yeah, I was working in marketing for Mercer, which is like a financial services firm. And so that was I had, that was, obviously like what I studied and what I'd kind of worked towards through uni, and it was great. But I think, I don't know. I think like a lot of people, pole just kind of takes over when you start.
Yeah.
Same with you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I could attest to that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So I think we all share that same thing where it's, we don't want to be restricted to the corporate world, and I think for us, we're more, I don't know, we just needed to spread our wings a little bit. So.
So did you start pole while you were in your corporate career?
Yeah, I started pole when I was 20, I think I was 21. And I just literally, one of my best friends had a Groupon voucher, and that's how we started. And I have a horse as well. And so I was like, oh, I don't really need to take on another exercise, but I'll go just for fun, for the Groupon. And then, I don't know, we did our first class and we really liked it, and then we decided to do it together. And then that's how it happened, and then we kept going.
Oh, wow.
But I was skeptical about pole when I started, because I just thought, like, it's only recent that pole has become so mainstream. And I remember when I started, it wasn't that I was like conservative but I was like, pole, it's, I don't know, you're kind of giggle when you hear pole dancing.
It is kind of like a unknown territory.
Yeah.
I feel like, well, maybe like recent years, especially, the coming up with like all these new studios and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like pole dancing is more of like a modern kind of, workout.
Yeah.
But I feel like it wasn't really like that back then.
No, absolutely not. But that was it, and that was the start of the pole dance obsession.
Wow. So which studio was like your first one that you went to?
I only ever went to one studio, and that was Pole Dance Academy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I only.
Wow.
Actually, that's not true. I train. I love training with Coco at Love Pole. I feel like I've been an Audi student because it's been so busy and I haven't been going to classes so much. But I love, like, the only studio that I kind of went in from the start was PDA. And then as I learnt more about pole, then I went exploring elsewhere. But the main two are Love Pole and PDA first and foremost, and then Love Pole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so like you've been a PDA girl from beginning.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you obviously, starting the studio, you've had to, quit PDA. And how do you feel about that?
It was hard. It was very scary. But, everything has a journey and everything has a beginning, and it's not an end. It's just like a perseverance of the journey. And, I think I'm so thankful for like everything that I learned when I was working and being a student at PDA. That's why I fell in love with pole, and I'm so grateful and so thankful. And so, I think it's an exciting journey. I think it's something to be proud of as well, because it's to give someone a passion is something that's, I don't know, precious, I think, and so it's because of that passion that I decided to open Body Space Studios. So I think it was hard. It was like an end of an era for me in a way, in a big way, but also the start of a new one, and hopefully the start of a partnership as well in a different sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's positive. Yeah.
It must have been so hard for like everyone at PDA for you to go as well, because I feel like you're so loved at the studio, and like everyone just loves you. I feel like you have like such a good, like, generous, caring heart, and like you care about other people so much. And then it must have been like everyone was a bit like, oh, it's so sad for Kim to leave.
I know. I think, I think it was sad, but at the same time, I think it was expected. I think everyone kind of knew that I would take my passion on to the next level, and so I think it was sad, but also I think a lot of people were happy, because it's like something, you're making your life out of something that you love, and I think that's kind of what the next step is, really. So I think everyone, it was really positive. It was really positive.
Oh, I love that.
Like, I feel like in Sydney there are so many amazing studios, which is nice because if you're a student in Sydney right now, it's amazing because you've got so many choices. It's great. Like, you know,
amazing.
I think it's great. Yeah.
There's so many new studios, like especially, honestly, I feel like the past few months.
Yeah, COVID. It's like the COVID babies, but the COVID studios.
Yeah. That's true. Chile has just opened hers.
Yeah.
Where else was there? I feel like there's just so many popping up these days. Yeah.
But I think change does that, you know, because you're forced to step outside of your comfort zone and just explore. It was scary for us because, well, I'd quit my job before COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, we hadn't set in stone anything actually when COVID hit. But it was kind of like, oh damn, did I make the right choice last year when I quit my job in December, 2 months before lockdown? But you know, it ended up being like the perfect thing. But it's you know, scary.
Yeah, it must have been. Yeah. The whole like, you know, feeling uncertain about, you know, what's gonna happen, if we're even able to go back to physical studios for a while. Yeah. So how was that for you during COVID? Like, how was life for you in terms of like, you know, you were obviously still instructing at PDA at the time. Yeah. How were you feeling?
I have to say the change of scene from not being able to teach face to face and teaching online. I'm so grateful that we were able to teach online. It was amazing, and you get to meet so many different people from around the world, and that was great. But for me, I think nothing beats being face to face. You know, there's something, I don't know, it's just you need to have people there with you. And I think as much as I do really, really enjoy teaching online, I think I'm happy that we can now balance both. I think, you know. Yeah. Because face to face, like, you know, when you're dancing with someone in the studio, it's just, I don't know, you just got the energy that it's just not, like for me, pole is fun, and it's a way of, it's fitness, but it's like fun fitness. You're going to the gym and you're working towards something, but this is fun, you know. And so when you're doing it with someone in the studio, it's like priceless. Yeah, nothing can change that.
Yeah, and I can totally see that from like seeing all your like social media and stuff like that, because I feel like you're always like dancing with people, and like you really like love that time you share with other people while you're dancing. Yeah. So is that like something you embody within the studio as well, that you feel?
Yeah, we really want it to be an intimate space where, you know, a student has the flexibility to kind of pick and choose what they want to do depending on how they're feeling. So it's got that flexibility of, say, for example, you're taking a gym membership that's quite flexible, but at the same time that has, you know, it's about you, and you're going there because we're going to look after you, and that's what Body Space is about. We're all about looking after number one, and that's you and your body. And so when you come, it's a space and a time for you, which is what we really want to make sure is always going to be there.
Oh, I love that. So you mentioned earlier that like you want to like, you know, take your, you know, obviously career to the next step, and then that's why, you know, you built Body Space Studios, and, you know, pole dancing is obviously your passion. Are there any other passions that you have other than pole dancing, which I feel like is like 90% of your life?
There are. So I've got a horse.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me about it. I was like, when you said horse, I was like, did I hear it right? Like that's crazy.
Got a horse. So back when I was studying, my first degree was animal science, and I did specialize in equine because I wanted to be a horse physiotherapist.
Wait, is that a thing?
It is. Well, so I did a 4-year degree in animal science, and then I wanted to go into physio, but you had to do humans first, and then you could specialize in horses. Right. And it would have been like, I don't know, 10-year journey in uni. So then I changed. Like I finished off, and then I just combined it with something different to get into like marketing and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But so when I went to uni in Wagga, And I have my horse, and I took her down with me to uni, and she lived on campus at the back of my college. My college room, there was like a little paddock there with like, you could have the horse.
Wait, I'm so confused as to what's happening. Like, so you have a horse, and then where does the horse usually stay?
So now she's retired. So she's old now. So when we first got her, my family got her for me when I was like 12, 11 maybe. It was like, she was like the family pony. And she was 4. And so now she's probably about 25 now. So she's retired. So she lives out in Silverdale, which is like northwest, like near the Blue Mountains. Kind of.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So she's retired. So she's just living out her life, eating grass.
And you took her to uni?
Yeah, I did, because we did all of our poor horses. We did all of our practicals on them. So all of the test stuff you could choose, but I used her to do all of the practicals for all of the vet stuff. So like all of the injury stuff, all of the vaccinations and dental work and hoof work and all those kind of stuff. She was like the test dummy, but she's good. She loved it.
Oh my God. That is insane. I feel like that's such a unique pet to have. Like, how did you think like, oh, I want a horse? Like, instead of, like, I feel like us normal people would be like, oh, I want a dog, or like, I want a cat.
We always had horses in my family. So my cousins have some. My auntie has 2 in the UK, and my cousins have a few, 1 in France. So we kind of just grew up riding, and when we came to Australia, she's called Angel. Angel was for sale at she wasn't part of the riding school, but someone was selling her, and we just kind of fell in love with her, and so we decided to take her on, and and that was it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So you moved to Australia when you were?
So I would have been about 8 when I moved to Australia.
Okay.
So I moved from France. So I lived I was born in Toulouse, and then I moved to China, and I lived there for 2 years, and then I came here to Australia.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
What were you doing in China?
Just for my parents' work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we lived in Beijing for a couple of years.
Right.
As expats, yeah.
What do your parents do?
So they work in aviation. So they used to work in Airbus when we back in the day when we were traveling around.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. I feel like there's like all these things I literally have no idea about. Like, I feel like I have such an interesting life.
Oh.
So you moved to Australia when you said you were 8.
Yes.
And so you were probably like, 6 when you were in China?
I was little, yeah.
Okay. Do you like...
I remember back in the day in China, it was... in the 90s, it was still very closed off to like foreigners, in a sense, foreign expats. So we lived in I really loved I don't remember much, but my mum, for example, loved living in Beijing because back in the 90s, it was still very, how do you say, there was so many bicycles everywhere. Like it was and all the food. I remember the food markets in the streets, and it was it's different now. I think it's completely changed. I haven't been back since, but my mum has, and she says it's very different now. But yeah, back in the 90s, I remember I used to catch the bus to school, and because when you're an expat, you live in like expat community,
right?
And so because the company like looks after your accommodation and that kind of stuff, and there used to be the buses that take the kids to the international schools or wherever you were going. There was a few, and so I just remembered like taking the bus, and I don't know, it's so strange that I have those memories. I remember ice skating on the lake we had a little like pond area like in the complex, like the housing, the place. Yeah. And I remember because it gets so cold in winter, I remember ice skating on the lake.
Oh, that sounds so
yeah, like it was good. I mean, that's, to be honest, that's all I remember.
Because, I mean, you were only there for 2 years and
It was
you were
so-
very young
yeah.
as well.
My sister spoke Chinese because we had someone help look after her when she was little with my mum. And so when my mum would go and do, like, say, for example, go and, I don't know, run errands or something or be at work, then a lady would look after my sister because she was too little to be at school. And so the lady who used to look after her was Chinese. And so my sister would speak Mandarin.
Oh.
When she was little, we used to ask her questions and she just wouldn't answer in French. She would answer in Mandarin. But now she's lost it, which is such a shame. But she used to just talk Mandarin back to my parents.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And do your parents understand Mandarin?
No.
Oh,
Just
so...
the basic words, but no.
Wow.
Because she used to speak with the lady all day in Mandarin.
Yeah.
And so it's funny. She lost it now, which is a shame.
Oh.
Yeah.
So is it your older sister?
My younger sister.
Your younger sister. So is it just you and your sister?
Just me and my sister. Yeah.
Okay. How far apart is she? Like, in
18
terms of
months.
age?
18 months.
Oh, okay.
So not far.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just your family, is just your mom, your dad,
Yeah.
and your sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
So do you remember anything from when you were in Toulouse?
To be honest. Like, the thing is, we go back to France like twice a year. So the thing is, ever since we were little, even if we lived overseas, we always went back for probably like 4 to 6 weeks at a time back to France. So I think it's all kind of meshed in one, really, all of those memories when I was little.
Right.
But I can't say that I remember exactly when I was like 5, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you remember kind of like the general, like how your upbringing was?
Yeah, like I think one thing about living away from your family, I remember, my grandmother used to look after us a lot, which I think when you live, I think a lot of people can relate. If you have your family and your extended family here in the one place, when you're kids, your grandparents take you like 2 or 3 days a week, and then et cetera, like while your parents are working, you'll go to your grandma's house for like a couple of days, and so I remember that really well. Yeah.
Oh, it must have been nice there.
Yeah.
Were you living in like the city or like
No,
the countryside?
actually, just outside of Toulouse.
Okay.
Yeah, so slightly in the countryside.
What is the food like there? I'm curious.
Oh, it's good.
It must
But you
be.
know what? You can get good food in Australia. Like, especially the cheeses, you can get good cheeses. But I think there are some things that I think that the breads, it's just, I mean, don't get me wrong, you can get really nice bread here, but there's something about
I agree.
the baguette in France, which has a taste, I don't know what it is, but it's just, I think it's just ingredients. You can't, when it comes from the soil where you grow it and everything, and I think it's just different landscapes. You just can't get the same taste because the soil's different, like it's different land,
I completely agree with you on that.
But yeah, and you know what, the salamis as well. That's one thing. Like here in Australia, you get good salami. Like if you go to the actual like proper place and you get like the dried salamis, but it still doesn't taste like the salamis in France.
So what's your favorite food? Like maybe like French cuisine?
I have to say my favorite is the mussels. I love mussels. Yeah, mussels. Moule marinière. It's like a dish where it's mussels cooked in white wine. It's just very light, and then usually on the side you have either some bread or you can have like French fries on the side. And I think that's my favorite like dish in France, moule marinière. And you get like a huge one, like you get like a huge pot of all the mussels, and it's so good. Yeah.
Are you fluent in French as well?
I am. It's my first language. So English is technically my second language. So I'm bilingual completely, but English technically would be my second language.
Right.
Yeah.
How close are you with your parents? And like, what was like your relationship with your parents like growing up?
No, it was good. My dad, so my dad lives in Singapore at the moment. So he lives in Singapore for work. My sister lives in Paris, and then my mum she lives just outside of Sydney in a place called Wollongby, which is near the Hunter Valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so she usually does half and half between my sister and me throughout the year.
Right.
But no, we had a really tight knit family, and we actually my parents worked a lot. My dad worked a lot, but we always kind of twice a year we always met up with my cousins. So we either met up halfway in between Australia and France, somewhere in the middle, or we would go back to France and spend at least like 2 months there with my cousins and everything. So it was we've got a really close family. So even though we live far, we're always like calling each other, messaging on group chats with like my cousins and everything like that. So it's nice.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because like it could be tough when you're like distant, like physically distant with each other. Yeah. But I guess like it's nice that, you guys still get together once or even like twice a year. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I miss my family too.
Your family's in Japan.
Yeah.
I went to Japan last year. I went to Tokyo.
You did. Yeah. Tell me about it. So like how was your experience like? Did you enjoy it?
So I went to teach workshops in Tokyo.
At Polish.
Yes. Oh, it was amazing. And I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been to Japan before. I didn't know. I mean, I'd stalked all the videos from Polish and I could see, okay, so they're into more exotic pole and like they're like freaking talented. And so I was really nervous. I was like, oh, everyone's so strong and flexible and
honestly, yeah, I agree. Like,
oh my goodness,
they're like crazy, like super flexy, strong as well. Shout out to everyone from Polish. They're all amazing.
It was amazing. They were so welcoming and it was so lovely. And I remember because I wasn't sure, because Tokyo is massive, and luckily I was staying quite close randomly. But I remember being so nervous about like finding the place and everything. It's completely, for me, it was for me, Japan was like so foreign, and I've traveled a lot across Southeast Asia, and but Japan I find was such a new experience, like completely different to what I'd experienced before. It was amazing, and the food was just incredible, and it's open 24/7.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god, like it's crazy.
Everything's open 24/7.
Yeah.
If you want to go karaoke, like at like 4 a.m. in the morning, you can do it. If you're hungry at like 6 a.m. in the morning, you've got the convenience store.
Yeah, the convenience store with all of the things in there. Like there was, I think my boyfriend's Italian, so he bought, I think, spaghetti bolognese from the convenience store, but it was like they have all that. It was so funny. It was great.
Yeah, and actually not too bad either.
No, it's true.
Yeah. Like if you get hungry, then you can just eat any hour of the day. Yeah. Quite nice. All that concrete jungle.
Yeah, it was really good. I can't wait to go back. Next time I'll go to Kyoto, I think. And visit.
It's more historical.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. All right, let's draw back to like pole dancing.
Okay.
So, because I just want to know more about like you and like how you define pole dancing and like what your future holds in terms of like pole dancing and like your career and stuff. Yeah. So you said that like you're obviously like really passionate about pole dancing and that's why, you love it. But what do you feel like pole dancing is to you aside from what passion? Like aside from being passion?
I think most importantly, it's how it makes me feel. So I feel like, for example, during lockdown when all of us, everybody like couldn't dance as much as they used to. I think the big thing was they missed how it makes them feel and they had like something was lacking. And of course that's the physical aspects of pole, like because you're working out and you feel like your body's getting a workout. And so you've got all the endorphins pumping and you're feeling good because you're feeling like you're getting stronger, you're feeling fit and all that kind of stuff. And then also you're just dancing and your mind disconnects. And I think that those two things mesh together make it I feel such a thing. And also the social aspect of it because you're dancing with, like your girlfriends and your boyfriends and, like that's what makes it really fun. So I think for me, like what I love most about it is exactly those three things put together. So the fitness and the fitness aspect of it, the emotional aspect of it. When you're dancing, you're disconnecting from your everyday, and then also the social side of it, where, you know, like we're all sending each other videos of like, let's try this next practice, or even though we never do, and we're always fluffing and we're just sitting on the floor doing nothing, but like it's like, you know, it's just, I think those three things together is the most important thing that I love about pole so much, which I think everybody feels very similar.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, with you obviously taking that next step in your business, you have to have that, you know, drive to want to progress more like your career, like your pole journey. But where do you think you get that drive from?
I think I just enjoy working with people. I know that sounds maybe like cliche, but I like working with people. And I think the reason why I went into marketing was because in a way, marketing was like a stepping stone for me to market this business in a way, if that makes sense. And so I went into marketing, and I was thinking of going into like non-for-profit fields to work with people, but in a different way, because marketing is very much about helping people share voices in a way, and you're kind of putting that out there, and that's kind of what your marketing is. You're selling a product in a way that's making it, I guess, tangible and human and all that kind of stuff. And I guess now coming into pole and opening up the studio, I feel like that kind of really brings in my love for that, but in something that's actually a passion, and working with people in that way. And so I think in terms of the studio, we just want to really grow the space for it to just become a place where people can, you know, feel wholesome, I think, and become the best that they can be in their skills, but by combining like a whole picture of everything together, if that makes sense. And so that's what we wanted to create.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And then I'll still try to compete.
Oh my God, I feel like that's a lot. That's a lot to do, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'll try and compete while I can. If I can.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I guess I'll try and see what I get into. Because, you know, you have to apply. I don't know if I'm going to get into things.
Oh, come on. You're being silly. Of course you'll get in.
Oh, well, to keep working at it.
So you plan to compete this year as well?
Yeah, I'd love to. I saw that there was a post that they were saying that MPD was going to happen hopefully this year as well. So, you know, that would be cool to at least to do the New South Wales heats. And I'm competing in Dance Filthy in April, which is a bit of a push out of my comfort zone, but I think it's going to be really fun.
Have you competed in Dance Filthy before?
I did the semi-pro like a few years ago. 4 years ago, which was really fun. So, but I don't think it was dirty enough.
Right. So those of you that don't know what Dance Filthy is, it's pretty much a competition run by Pole Dance Academy in Sydney, and it's pretty much all about dancing filthy. So the more sexy, the more revealing, the more filthy you are, that's how pretty much you win the competition, right?
So let's try and push those boundaries. It's very out of my comfort zone. Like, I feel like my dancing is sensual and it's sexy. But I feel like that filthy aspect, I find it hard to get it in me.
Right.
And so I have to really channel that filthy aspect. Somehow.
Yeah, I can't imagine you, because I feel like you're like more of the graceful, sexy.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine you be like, man, like
angry filthy.
Yeah. Do you have like an idea of like what you want to do for the?
I think I do. I do.
Are you ready to reveal that?
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Are you?
Because of the comp. I don't know if they keep it like secret.
Okay.
And then they announce it for the when the crowd comes in.
All right. Okay. We'll
but
keep it a secret then.
You'll see the previews.
How exciting!
I know.
What other competitions are you planning on this year? Is that the only ones so far?
So, I mean, I guess if MPD runs, I'll try and go for Miss Pole Dance New South Wales. There's Pole Theatre if that goes ahead, or there's APC as well. So I did APC a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was really nice. It was such a nice competition. And so if they run it again, I'd love to enter. Yeah.
I love that. Actually, I was watching it on Zoom.
Oh, were you watching it on Zoom?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I was.
Oh my goodness.
And I saw you come out the very last.
Yeah, it was the last one.
And then I was like, wait, is
With
Kim
the heels.
the only one that's wearing heels?
Yes. I nearly took them off. I was like, no one's wearing heels. Maybe I'm going to take my heels off. But then I just was like, no way. If I this is not choreographed for no heels.
Right.
But it was. I think it was a nice thing. Everyone was like, no, just keep them on. Like whatever, do your thing, and you do you and stuff. But yeah, I was the only one wearing heels.
I didn't know that you can wear heels for Australian pole championships.
No, you can. I think it's as long as they've got the criteria, and as long as you hit each criteria, and I think the biggest one is on tricks and like execution of tricks and the level of difficulty of tricks. But I think you can do what you want, really.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because everyone was just wearing, like, everyone was barefoot.
Yeah.
So I thought the competition was all, like, you have to be barefoot or something.
No, yeah. You can wear heels. What? Yeah.
I love that because I felt like you, like, stood out, because, like, everyone else was barefoot and then you came out with heels and I was like, I love that. She's just like owning her style and like.
I think it was good that I was last because it could have it was like, okay, and then the heels,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you think you went for like the competitions last year in general? Like.
So that was the only one because of COVID.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I thought like you were competing in a few.
No, so they had the APC heats, which was online submission for the video.
Yeah.
And then the finals they had this year. But they had, like, for example, Dance Filthy, they were going to run it last year, but they had to stop it. And so we've technically been accepted from last year and then like pushing it forward to this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So I think it's gonna be fun. I think everyone's gonna be really happy to get back out there and do competitions if that's what they like to do. And
fingers crossed there's not going to be any restrictions.
I know.
At the time.
I know.
Because there's like a second wave of COVID coming.
Yeah.
So we're filming right now as we speak. There's like a weird cluster of COVID that's hitting like.
What
Australia.
is that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like the second, like this strand. Yeah. So hopefully. Yeah. Because, obviously for like last year was, quite a tough time for a lot of us. I mean, I would say like every one of us in terms of, our careers. We weren't, we were just feeling like uncertainty about the future. We don't know how long, lockdown was going to go on for. And must have been really hard for like a lot of pole dancers and also, pole dancing studio owners, like everyone involved in this space just because it's such a physical, sport and art form, and most, studios are very physical.
Of course.
And we just had to, turn online.
Yeah.
So hopefully that doesn't.
I know, fingers crossed.
Happen this year. Or hopefully all the competitions go ahead so that we can see you on stage as well. It'll be so exciting because I love watching your performances. I think it's just like I don't know, you're just like so amazing about everything. Like you can dance, your tricks are amazing, and like I love like your concepts as well. So like how do you come up with that?
Oh my god, I feel like the concepts are my least, like my worst.
Really?
I don't know. I find it hard to I find it hard to put a story together. Like that's the hardest thing, I think, to put a theme together. Like I can dance to a beautiful song and have, let's say, a broad theme like I am, like a butterfly or I don't know, for example, but I find it really hard to, like, or the theme could be like flow or something like that, but I find it hard to like make a story out of performances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I find it natural to dance to a song and to do like a beautiful dance that makes you feel, but then to implement a story inside it is just so difficult.
Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. Yeah. Is that, so like I've always been curious, when you need like a storyline, is that like an Australian thing?
I don't know. I mean, I understand that you need some kind of purpose to your show. Like you're trying to make the audience feel something, and what is it that you're trying to make them feel? So I get that side of it, but I don't know, with the stories, I find it hard. I find it really hard.
Because this is why I'm curious, because every time I go, like, say, competitions overseas, like in Japan or Korea or something, I find that I feel like I don't really see like a storyline or anything, but it's more very like emotive and like a lot of expression.
Yeah.
And I find that totally beautiful as well. And I do find, having a storyline and like a theme really beautiful as well. But I was just wondering if that's like a, particularly like an Australian thing, because
maybe
I just don't see it.
Well, maybe it depends on the nature of the comp, because for APC, for example, I feel like I had a concept to my show, but there wasn't necessarily a storyline as such. And I think it seemed like that was kind of the same for all the other competitors. Like they had a concept and they had a strong theme, but maybe not like a start, middle, finish type of story for every competitor.
Right.
So I think it just depends on the competition. Like I think it depends on the competition.
Okay.
And the criteria, But I mean, that I think that's the hardest thing, trying to find that story in the shows.
I feel, well, I mean, like everyone has like their strengths and weaknesses.
Right. Some people are amazing at doing those things.
Yeah. And I feel like that's where like their passion lies as well.
Yeah.
Like they love telling that story, and like rather than thinking about what tricks or whatever, like they're just like doing stories and stuff. What's your favorite thing about pole dancing then? Is it the trick aspect, dance?
I think it's the dance. Or maybe the union of the two. I think the best thing is when you're doing a routine and you're not slippery.
That's like the worst nightmare of all pole dancers.
You're not slippery and you're comfortable, and because you know that you can do all of the tricks that's coming up and you're not feeling slippery and you're relaxed, that's the best feeling. You know what I mean? When you're thinking ahead and you're like, actually, no, it's fine. I've got this. I'm super grippy. And it's like 20 seconds in a routine. Like, I think even like every student would relate, when you do a week 8 show and you're nervous, but then you're like, actually, I can do this trick no matter what. If I'm slippery or whatever, I'll be able to do it. And then you have this you feel relaxed, which means that in turn you don't get slippery because you don't have nervous sweats.
Yeah.
And then it makes it even better, and then you can actually enjoy. I think that's my favorite thing. And that's when I feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, being slippery is like literally the worst nightmare as a pole dancer. It really is. So if any of you are pole dancers or never tried pole dancing, you get slippery, and when you get like sweaty on your hands or like even like any part of your body, you just start to slip down the pole, and it's like the worst thing that could ever happen.
It's so scary.
Yeah. I mean, like you don't want to be in a layback and like just slip off. So.
No. Definitely not.
It's scary. It's very scary. So if you were to have like an advice for like all our beginner pole dancers, what would that be?
I think just have fun and just be confident in yourself, and don't be scared to put a little bit extra body roll or put a little bit extra body wave. Because I remember when I started, I felt really shy. I mean, everyone feels really shy because you're not used to seeing your body in front of a mirror, like sparsely clad, like wearing little bike shorts, and you know, you're not used to seeing yourself like do these body rolls or do these moves on the pole. And so I think that it's, you know, it can be confronting. And especially because, you know, when you're starting, you watch the teacher and you're like, oh my God, like she just makes it look so easy and it makes it look so good. And then you look at yourself and you're like, oh my God, I can't even hook my leg on. And I think the most important thing is, don't worry about all of that, because that comes with strength, that comes in time when you build the strength, because you don't need to be strong to start. And just have fun and enjoy it, and just come with a friend, and then just train with your girlfriend or your guy friend, and it's just have fun.
I love that.
Don't worry. Yeah,
because it could be like very intimidating in the beginning.
It's so intimidating.
Yeah, because you're just not used to, as you said, looking at yourself in the mirror for like such a prolonged time as well.
Yeah, and doing all these moves that are that you like. When do you in your everyday life do you like pop in the mirror while you're getting ready? Like you just don't, you know. And you don't do a head roll when you're brushing your teeth. And so like the first time that you see yourself do a head roll, like you look at the teacher and you're like, okay, that looks great, and then you start and it's just like so awkward. Yeah, and it's like, oh my God, you know. But it comes.
And I think this is the thing, like a lot of people, when they feel awkward or when they feel uncomfortable in a situation, then they just feel like, oh, this is not for me.
Yeah.
You know?
And I agree. But it comes, and you build your own style, and you there's, you know, what the teacher does isn't the be all end all either. Like you can change that and make it suit how you feel with yourself or with your body, or like, you know, whether you have short hair or long hair, or whether a head roll you want it to be sharp or whether you want it to be slow. Like I think anything is up to your personal interpretation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I guess like you just have to remember that, you know, say for example, if you think that Kim does everything like so beautifully and gracefully, which I totally agree as well, that you've been doing this for how long?
Yeah, it's so true. Like you know, when you do a move, when you see that, you know, when I'm teaching a move, I've done it like probably 150 times, you know, and so it looks smooth now because I needed it to get that smooth to teach it. But the first time, oh my goodness, like ask any of my instructors, like, you know, who teach me, especially when it comes to static. Ask Astral. I did static class with Astral days on the weekend. So hard.
Yeah. Static is just like a whole nother ball game. Yeah, like spinning is one thing, static is one thing.
Yeah.
Like you're always gonna feel uncomfortable in anything you do in the beginning, and that is totally fine and that's normal. But what, you know, makes your movements like look smooth and like get to that level is to just keep on persevering and just continue to work on your art form, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So are you working on static now?
I'm trying to.
That's exciting.
I'm trying to do a bit more static. I have to.
Static is very hard.
Yeah, it's once you get, like, I think once I feel comfortable, and if like comfortable, it doesn't look great, but at least it's there. It kind of feels cool when you start to feel like your static is flowing a little bit.
Yeah.
It feels satisfying. But yeah, I that's like one combo that I've been doing the same one for like the past month, and now it's starting to feel okay.
Yeah.
But
see, like even for Kim, you know, as you said, it takes so long to like, you know, even do one combo.
Yeah.
And start to feel like comfortable in it.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've been doing for static for how long? I don't know. I still feel like I'm terrible at it.
You're actually amazing at it. Amazing.
Oh, it doesn't feel like it. It feels awkward. Like, see what you heard?
Yeah.
Like, even if I feel awkward, someone else would be like, oh, that's, you know, that looks good. So it's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. You just have like, sometimes you just have to be like, actually not that bad.
You have to just, you know, sometimes when you film a video and you feel like it was terrible, sometimes if I do a routine and I filmed myself, or if it's a show or performance or whatever, and I feel like I'm a bit hard on myself, and I think, I think I kind of messed that one up, or like I didn't do a step. Firstly is to always keep going in the routine, because what you think is a misstep, actually when you look back on the video, you're like, actually I can't even see that. And so, and then you get it in your mind, and then if you like give up for the rest of the routine, then you're like, I should have just kept going because I couldn't see it. But also I always find if I watch my video the next day, if I'm not happy with my show, if I watch the video the next day with a bit of feedback, like with a bit of like, how do you say, you're in a different mindset, then it's never as, it's, you know, then it's, you kind of get a bit of step back, and you're like, okay, actually it was not that bad.
That's true. That's very true. Like you, sometimes when you look at it the next day or even like a week after or something.
Yeah.
Like, what was I thinking at the time?
Exactly. Yeah. Because in the moment you've got so much, you know, you feel disappointed because you've put so much in, and you feel like you've messed it up a little bit. But then if you just sleep on it, and then it's always not as bad the next few days when you check it out.
For sure. And I think it's also really important to tell yourself and like remind yourself that like your progress is more important than you know, perfecting the moves, because you know, you can just be like, you can just look at yourself in the current moment and be like, like I feel like, you know, I'm not that good, but then look at yourself like, you know, maybe even a month ago and see how much like you progress. And it's like, that's the amazing thing about pole dancing, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I feel like we have like such a good chat about everything.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you.
Seriously,
thank you so much for
humbled.
coming. And like, thank you so much for like sharing, you know, about your life and your story, and like, you know, how you became who you are today in pole dancing, and your horse like your family. I love that. So if you know your viewers or listeners want to find you on any of your socials, where can they find you?
So you can follow me on Instagram. So Kimberly Mahoney on Instagram or on Facebook. And then you can also check out our new studio on Instagram or online, bodyspacestudios.com.
Amazing. I love that. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for your new business. Like, I can already see that like it's just going amazing. So I can't wait to visit your studio.
Thank you so much. Come, yes.
Yeah. I would love to. Alrighty, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching or listening. And I shall see you in the very next episode. Bye.